Aloha and welcome to A Word with Ward. I'm Representative Gene Ward and we're continuing in our Community Leaders series. This is a continuation of interviews of those people in the community. That's the Hawaii Kai, the Kalama Valley community. And today we're going to go back to school. We're going to go back to school, in fact, specifically to Kamiloiki Elementary School. And we're honored to have the principal, Susan Okano, here. Susan, welcome.
Thank you for inviting us.
We have an exemplary 5th grade student, Kalei Young, and we have Curriculum Technology Coordinator, Terrie Kano.
Hi.
Welcome to all of you to A Word with Ward. But this is really a word with the people of Hawaii Kai to Kalama Valley, or the people of Hawaii, which some of your stuff will apply to all the state of Hawaii. Before we get started, what does it take to become a principal, Susan?
Oh gosh, it takes lots of hard work, of course, but people behind you supporting you and a wonderful staff to work with. So I've been very fortunate to be at Kamiloiki School because of the wonderful staff there.
And you've been in the DOE a number of years?
And I've been a vice principal at Kaiser High School for about 5 years. I went to Ainahaina Elementary as a principal for 2 years, 2.5 years, then to Wailupi, and then this is my 3rd year at Kamiloiki School.
And I remember her homecoming at Kamiloiki was suddenly it's the 40th anniversary.
Correct. We opened our doors on September 4th, 1970, and last year we celebrated our 40th anniversary.
And how many students do you have?
We have 378 students in preschool through grade 5, and we have 26 teachers on our staff.
And you have one of your exemplary 5th graders here.
Yes.
What would Kalei say about him? What do you want people to know about you, Kalei, when they see you? You know, Kalei, I saw you on television. What do you want them to remember about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I guess I don't think I have anything that I want.
You're in the 5th grade, right?
Yeah.
But you I know before we started out, we could be able to talk about science because you like math and science.
Yes.
So that means when you grow up, what do you want to be?
Well, I think what I want to be has nothing to do with those, but I want to be a lawyer when I...
Oh, is that right? You know, sometimes lawyers don't have that engineering, science, and technology background. But that means you're going to be speaking as much as you're going to be, I guess, calculating as an engineer. Good for you. You want to be a politician too, or you just want to be a lawyer?
It would be cool to...
That would be cool too. Okay, Kalei, we're going to come back to you with other questions. We're going to go to the curriculum development specialist. Corey, you don't become one of those overnight either. Give us a couple of background things on yourself.
I was in 2nd grade for about 10 years, and then about 2 years ago I became Curriculum and Technology Coordinator.
What does the Curriculum Technology Coordinator do?
At our school, a
Yes,
lot. Just kind of helps with everything.
The principal here listening.
You know, we just work together to make everything work, and we're really focusing on the rigor for the students, so it's helping bump that up, and with this science and technology, working on that. And let's see, right now, one of the programs that we're really focusing on is our Mast Academy. It's a school-wide program, and it started 2 years ago when we did a mass survey of the parents, teachers, and the students and the school community council. Through all of them, it seemed that the focus, the direction everybody wanted to go in was math, science, and technology. So therefore, one of the SEC members thought of this really nice acronym, MAST, Math and Science Technology.
I was thinking
how we are.
The only way I remember those is STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. Otherwise, I would mess it up. So there's another way of saying the same thing?
Well, that's what our school's take on it was. And so from there, last year, we hired a Mast coordinator, and she's been instrumental in coordinating in-services for the teachers, helping them make their science programs greater, and even opening a science lab, which was it's really a neat place to be because she had one of the parents donate lab tables. So it's really neat. Another thing, they had a big grand opening, and during that grand opening, it was a science night. She had a big star lab in the center field between the buildings, and then in the science lab, we had the mad scientists come. There were all kinds of activities for all the kids and parents. Everybody really had a great time. HICO was there with their different instruments, and Discovery Ed had some online science demos for the kids. And then had quite a few things going on. Following that, HICO came in and we did the HICO Challenge, which is Hawaiian Electric comes and has a statewide contest with schools where families need to reduce their energy usage. They sign up, and the schools with the families that reduce their energy usage the most compete, and we won second place. It was real close, neck and neck, and we won $6,000.
That's terrific. You know, when you said HICO Challenge, I thought the HICO Challenge was most of my constituents getting the money to pay the electric bill, which keeps going up. So the HICO Challenge is trying to get you to use less and less.
That's
so
right.
well, that's good. You not only won, but you got $6,000.
Yes.
Does that mean that Kamiloiki is going to be more front and center with robotics and other science and technology, or it's because you are in the IB family of Kaiser?
Correct. Yeah, and we are pushing the math and science, but at the same time, you know, the Kaiser Complex Vision is a world-class education for all. So at this time, Kaiser High School is an authorized diploma program and middle years program for IB, and New Valley is an authorized IB middle years program. Haihaoni Elementary will soon become authorized. Aina Haina and Kamiloiki, we are schools of interest, and Cocoa Head will also be looking at the international.
For those who may not know what IB means, what's sort of the major things that people should know?
Well, it seeks to develop knowledgeable, inquiring, caring children who help create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural study and respect. And it's the program develops these very challenging curriculum and rigorous assessment. So it's something that we're very pleased to become a part of. It will take a lot of work, and with our staff, it will get done.
And IB means International Baccalaureate, almost
correct.
like a baccalaureate degree, which is like college level. So guys like Kalei are going to get ready to go to college. Are you going to go to Kaiser after Kamiloiki? Or are you going to go to Wailupe? Or are you going to go to New Valley Middle School and then you're going to go to Kaiser?
New Valley.
New Valley. But then are you going to take a language that you have as a favorite? I think that's one of the requirements, isn't it, President Okano? They have to take a foreign language, right?
We need to have a foreign language, and right now it's Mandarin. So Mandarin is going from kindergarten all the way through high school, which is remarkable for our complex.
So Kalei, ni hao ma? Ni hao pu hao ma? Tao. You don't know. You haven't taken your Mandarin yet.
No, not this year.
But you're in an environment by which that's going to be very, very important. And because I was a Peace Corps volunteer when I was much younger, learning another language was so exciting but so fearful, because generally we're so monocultural and so monolingual. But it's exciting. It opens up a whole new world. And not to toot my horn, but I'm really proud that they chose me to be an APEC translator-interpreter. When APEC comes in November, I'm going to be with the Indonesian delegation. I happen to have one of their flag pins today, but that International Baccalaureate is really, Kalei, to get you to be a global citizen. Not to forget who you are as an American and as a child of the soil of Hawaii, but to be able to look at what economically going on. We have a global economy which we have to compete with. We have a global education which President Okano and curriculum development specialist Terrie, Kamo, we are lagging behind in some of those areas. But let's not focus on the national yet or the international? Let's go back to the things that you're most proud of
Well,
that's going on at Kamiloiki.
a lot of things are going on besides the math, science, and the international baccalaureate. You know, last year our teachers worked very hard, and we have that No Child Left Behind adequate yearly progress targets that we need to meet, and we did meet it, and we increased our proficiency scores 6 percentage points in reading and 14 percentage points in math on the Hawaii State
Now,
Assessment.
for people who don't know the No Child Left Behind, those are the standards by which your reading and your math skills should reach at the national level.
Correct.
So you met the national level
Yes,
and exceeded
we
it.
did.
Or-
Exceeded, correct, we did. And it took a lot of hard work on the teachers' part, but they were focused, the children were focused, the parents helped, and we were able to achieve that. And
What percentage of our schools actually don't meet No Child Left Behind?
it was quite a number, because the
It's almost half or
targets-
more, isn't it?
Yeah, around half, because the targets had gone up the past year. So it's getting more difficult to meet these targets, and we're working real hard.
I understand there's some exemptions that might be able to be put in to
That'll
not
be
make it so
nice.
stringent.
Yes.
So young men like Kalei can make it without getting egg on his face by scores.
He did very well.
He did.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
I'm not
he's on the
worried
show
about
today,
it.
right? How was the test? Did you find it a piece of cake? Was it difficult? Or
Some problems I found difficult, but others was easy.
what do you like most about going to school at Kamiloiki?
I like mostly all the things about going to school.
That's super. When you get up in the morning, you're really looking forward to go to school?
Yeah.
All you kids who are out there watching, if you're watching with your parents, listen to this young man. You wake up in the morning and you say, it's going to be a good day to learn something at Kamiloiki.
You know, last year Kalei was very instrumental in organizing a fundraising. Why don't you talk about
Yeah,
that,
Kalei,
that fundraising effort last year that you did as student council?
Well, last year the student council, we hosted a program where we raised over $6,000 for the Japan's tsunami relief program, and
Wow.
we had a student and her friend had an idea where every class will get a jar, and in that jar each student will bring in money and participate by putting that money into the jar, and that will go to the program. And we also had a garage sale where everyone could come in and buy some stuff, and that money was also put towards the program.
$6,000 over what period of time did you do that?
Just a few months, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's exceptional. I'm not sure I don't know what the legislature gave, but $6,000 for elementary school kids, that's pretty generous. You mentioned student council. Are you a member of the student council, Kalei?
You
Yes.
were last year, yes.
Are you an officer of the council?
I was the vice president.
And what does the vice president do? Collects the money, it sounds like.
No, the treasurer does.
Oh, the treasurer does.
I help
like
the
counts it.
president, and if he's ever absent on a day, then I take over his duties.
So, ladies, he is learning the political ropes
Yes,
already,
yes.
as it
Oh,
goes in
yes.
parts of that.
Uh-huh.
What's the latest project on the IT front? Have all the kids got computers, by the way? When he walks in the door in any of the classes, has he got a computer in the back of the room, or what's
We
the
have,
state of the art of technology at Kamiloiki?
Well, there's not much funding that comes down, so we make do with what we have. But we do have 3 computer labs, which is really neat. One was totally donated by a company that was closing down. And then we have 2 others. So one is a Mac lab for the younger grades, and then we have a PC lab for the upper grades, and we have another lab that's adjoined to the library. In the classrooms, we have 3 or 4 computers, and a lot of these are donated by the Department of Defense. You know, it's excellent. They still work. They do what we need to do. And then we also, last year, were able to get document cameras into the classrooms.
A what?
A document camera. So
So-
if a teacher had a sheet of paper that she wanted to share with the students, or the students wanted to share their work, they have this document camera. It takes a picture of the whatever it is, the piece of work, and then they may, projects onto, we only have TVs in our classroom, we don't have a projector yet. So it projects on there, and it's, you know, larger, so all the students can see it. So like a student like Kalei could go ahead and share his work, how he did solve the problem, or even do like an experiment under there, and it's projected big onto the TV. So that's some of the things. And then the state has probably, I think through Race to the Top funds, funded Discovery Education, which is an online science program, just like the Discovery Channel. And it's got all kinds of really great lessons, hands-on activities, and video. It's got an enormous video collection that they can use to integrate into their science lessons. And also a program called Achieve 3000, which is an online reading program with articles kind of like National Geographic. So they're high interest for the kids with beautiful photographs, and it helps to bump up their reading level. And our math and reading programs also have online components.
But Representative Ward, I need to mention to you that last year, Kalei in the 4th grade did a project, a PowerPoint project, correct? And explain that project.
Well, they had us, we went on a website and we got to choose what we wanted to research when we were in college. And that college listed a bunch of colleges that had that program. And we chose one of those colleges and we did a whole PowerPoint and report on that.
So in the 5th grade or the 4th grade, you're talking about college and opportunities that various colleges offer.
Yes.
Now that's forward thinking.
Yes.
That is good. What do you remember that you learned out of that project, that PowerPoint?
I learned a lot about the school that I chose.
You've chosen a school that you want to go to after you get out of high school.
Yes.
Which one is that and why?
I wanted to go to Harvard because I saw that had a good law program.
I like ambitious young men. You said Harvard, right?
Yeah.
Going to Harvard. I'm glad that we've got a shining star. Now, two questions come to mind from what was spoken about the IT. What are the needs of the department? What are the physical things that are missing in terms of what the kids might need? Are there things that, because what I'm thinking of, sometimes we have donors, philanthropists, people who, you know, hey, I can donate that, or this is, if I knew that there was a need, I could have helped out. And some people have talked to me, they said, those things aren't necessarily known because generally it's the state budget, which you know, and we all know is in a little bit of jeopardy. So are there any needs on the IT part that we might share?
Yeah, Terrie can explain a little bit about the Cisco project.
Yeah. Actually, that project, there is money that is coming down, and they're working on this. They have some statewide projects. So Cisco would be in terms of the networking, getting the networking to the schools so that we'd be online more than not. Before we'd be in the computer lab, and I think Kalei could attest to this, where sometimes you're submitting your HSA test or you're working on it and you just have to wait maybe a whole minute for the next question to load up. You know, but they're solving those problems. One of the other things that I could think of that like our school could use would be like projectors in every classroom. So like we had the document camera. If we had also a projector, then what the students would see would be really live and big.
Okay, I'm sure that those who are listening with the philanthropic thing in mind, projectors, basically so you can plug the computer into the projector to get the PowerPoint directly.
Correct. Or also if the teacher or student is demoing their work with that document camera, it would be real big and large.
I see, to be able to blow it
The
up.
whole class could
The
see
second
it.
question that came to mind is Kalei's question. Kalei, do you hand in your homework from computer based stuff, or do you still write it out
We
longhand?
write it out and show it to the teacher.
So it's, is it because they don't have the computers yet, or is it because we want them to learn cursive? I understand that cursive is now something that is exempt in some DOE first grade classes in view of having.
Correct. I mean, it's not in the Common Core standards, but I know some of our teachers, they think it's still very important because people do communicate through cursive writing, and they
Sure.
think it's important that the children be able to read that and to also write in it. So, you know, even though it's not in the standards, our teachers might be, you know, teaching it in the classroom.
I think it's very important. I mean, it's like you shouldn't be saying, okay, just take a calculator, give someone a calculator and say, oh, you know, you use this every time you're going to calculate. And then you would be lost when you're at the grocery store or buying and selling stuff by which you need to have your figures and put them down in pencil. Kalei, do you have a computer at your house, at home?
Yes, and I also have a laptop that I could.
So you got a laptop too? Because I've heard that some of the schools are now, not yet, but in the near future, going to be handing out these kids iPads, iPad 2s, and a lot of their text will be streamed through that iPad, and it's going to kind of level the playing field in terms of costs of textbooks and all the other things.
Actually,
and that's
that
where
would
the
be great.
technology
That would
comes
be
in.
great.
The iPad can get a pretty good sized screen for kids to read on, right?
Yes, yes. And there's so much that's available through that. You know, they have where you could even dissect frogs on the iPads. You know, you do a dissection of a frog if you wanted to see what the inner organs look like. So you go through everything just like, you know, you did in biology, with the pinning it down, putting the lines.
That
on
reminds
the
me, I was
scalpel.
recently at a legislative conference on the mainland, and it mentioned that as No Child Left Behind, as some socioeconomic correlations with grades are, with the new technology now, particularly the iPad, we're saying that you can have the best and the brightest teachers from all over the United States zoomed into the classroom, into the person. They call it blended technology learning, where you've got the person in a small group having teaching over the internet, but it's the teacher with the facilitation of a counselor amongst the kids, where you get the best of everything. I don't know if it's cutting up frogs or learning about the mathematics and the engineering, but it's phenomenal what Kalei and his generation is going to have in terms of technology. But let's go to the sort of the other side of the technology, things that the DOE is doing that people can be encouraged about. You mentioned Race to the Top. What are some of the things that we can expect coming out from that?
Well, I think a great deal of the funds will be going to the schools that need the help. But at the same time, it's going to the assessment process, and that we can access the data online very quickly. But going back to the technology, we also have to teach the children appropriate use of technology. And the DOE is coming down very strongly on the harassment bullying, so that we do teach them that with the technology we have to communicate in an appropriate manner.
It's a very good point. Kalei, have you seen or heard or experienced bullying technologically through texts, emails, or otherwise? But you know that some kids have gone through that, right?
Yes.
That's good. That means the school atmosphere is quite up and coming. What other things should we know about technology that might be coming, or things in general, Principal Okano, about?
Well, we've got a number of after-school programs.
Okay.
Yeah. We're way in the valley, and you know, our children, they need more than just a reading, writing, and math. So we have golf, and this year we'll have tennis and flag football. A parent might be doing piano. We have the robotics, of course. We have band, Japanese. We're looking for an art teacher. We've got the hula ukulele. Last year we had Zumba exercise too.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're looking at and we also have the Mad Science program after school this year. So we're looking at a number of after school programs to enrich
No activity
our
left
children.
behind. There's something for everybody. I do want to get into the side of the near closure of Kokoet Elementary and Kamiloiki, but that is now long gone. That is case closed. Thank the community for rallying for that and bringing it to what otherwise was a total shock to so many of us. To think that your school performing so well would be on the chopping block, but thank you for all that you've done to make sure that doesn't happen. You don't have to comment on that, but I was so concerned about good schools being shut down after being such high performers because of some little formula that was
Right, and
triggered.
I appreciated you coming to the hearing and, you know, speaking up for those who are concerned about it.
Well, I hope it never comes up again, but if so, I will. I didn't pound the table, but I feel so strongly about keeping these schools open for kids like Kalei to have a chance to go to Harvard. Very impressed. We're going to have to wrap up. Any closing comments of anything that we've said or didn't say, Kalei, that you'd like to know? Because, you know, when you said you're going to go to Harvard, people are going to say, hey, you remember back in 2011, you were in the 5th grade, you were on Representative Ward's show, and you said you're going to go to Harvard. Did you go, and what should you tell them that what you're going to do?
I guess I'll try to do my best to get into Harvard, and maybe they will not accept me because it has a very hard chance of getting to Harvard. So maybe getting straight A's for the rest.
So it means you got to study hard, right?
Yes.
What's your grade point right now?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, we won't publicly divulge that because then it'll be held against them in case there's some recruiter from Harvard who's watching
Well,
this.
he is an excellent student.
Excellent student.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good.
Terrie, any closing comments before we sign off?
Actually, this is really an exciting time in education. You know, we're just blasting forward with the rigor, trying to have the well-rounded child. It's really exciting. And technology, what used to take teachers hours to correct, you know, students get that feedback right there. So it's really great.
That is excellent. Principal Okano.
Well, Kamiloiki is a wonderful school. The staff, very kind and nurturing. It's fortunate for me to be there, and it's such a privilege working with them. So if anyone wants to come to our school, they're welcome to come to our
There's
school.
the welcome mat right there.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm honored that you have come on the Community Leaders Show to show what you're doing, because this is the future. And I commend you for what you've done and what you're going to do, young man, for the future for the state of Hawaii. This is Representative Gene Ward. Thank you for viewing A Word with Ward. We'll be back with another leadership series, but I want to thank Principal Okano from Kamiloiki School.